Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. Today we're going to talk about a situation that almost everyone has experienced at some point.
Being late.
More specifically, being late for work.
And not just how to say I'm late.
Because if that's all you know how to say, you're going to need a few more sentences.
Especially when your boss is calling you.
Or when your coworker sends you a message saying, "Where are you?"
And you're still standing on the platform waiting for a train that was supposed to arrive 10 minutes ago.
That sounds very specific.
It might be.
All right, before we get into the language, let's imagine a situation.
It's Monday morning.
Of course it is.
Your alarm doesn't go off.
That's already bad.
You wake up, look at your phone, and realize you were supposed to leave home 10 minutes ago.
And your first thought is not, how can I improve my English?
No.
Your first thought is probably, oh no.
Exactly.
And that's where we're going to start.
Listen to the situation first. Don't worry about understanding every expression, just follow the story.
All right, let's go. Oh no, no.
What happened?
What time is it?
7:45.
My meeting starts at 8:30.
And
It takes me at least 40 minutes to get to the office.
so you're going to be late.
I'm already late.
You haven't even left the house.
That's why I'm late.
Did you oversleep?
Apparently.
Did you set your alarm?
I did, I just didn't hear it.
That's not very helpful.
I know.
Have you checked the trains?
Yeah, there's a delay on my line.
How long?
20 minutes.
That's not good.
I'm going to have to take the bus.
That's going to take longer.
I know.
Have you told your manager?
Not yet.
You should probably do that now.
I don't know what to say.
You could start with the obvious.
I'm going to be late.
That's a good start.
But I need to explain why.
You don't necessarily need to explain everything.
I overslept.
You could say that.
But I don't want to tell my boss I overslept.
Why not?
Because it sounds irresponsible.
Well,
I know what you're going to say.
I'm not saying anything.
You're thinking it.
Maybe a little.
What if I say there was a problem with my alarm?
Was there?
Technically, yes.
What happened?
I didn't hear it.
That's not really a problem with the alarm.
Okay, maybe I should just be honest.
That's usually a good place to start.
All right, what about this? Hi, I'm sorry, but I'm running late this morning. I had trouble getting up, and there's also a delay on my train. I'll probably be there around 9:15.
That's much better.
Really?
Yes, you're explaining the situation, giving them an estimated arrival time, and apologizing.
But I didn't actually say I overslept.
You don't always have to give every detail.
So I'm running late is enough.
It's a very useful expression.
Let's stop there for a second.
Good idea.
Because I'm running late looks very simple.
But it's one of those expressions you really want to understand as a whole.
If someone says I'm running late, what does it mean?
It means they're behind schedule and they're not going to arrive at the expected time.
So if my meeting starts at 8 and it's 7:55, I could say,
I'm running late.
even though I'm not technically late yet.
Exactly.
That's an important difference.
If you say I'm late, you're saying the expected time has already passed.
So if I was supposed to arrive at 8 and it's 8:10,
I'm late.
but if it's 7:50 and I know I'm not going to arrive by 8,
I'm running late.
that's really useful.
And you can use it in many situations.
I'm running late for work.
I'm running late for the meeting.
I'm running late, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
You can even just text someone running late, be there soon.
That's very natural in messages.
Yes, especially with people you know well.
What about I'm going to be late?
Also very common.
So what's the difference?
The difference isn't huge in everyday conversation, but the focus is slightly different.
Explain that.
If I say I'm running late, I'm describing the current situation. I'm behind schedule right now.
And I'm going to be late.
I'm emphasizing the result. I'm not going to arrive on time.
So imagine I'm on a train.
Okay.
The train has stopped and my meeting starts in 15 minutes.
You might text your coworker, I'm going to be late. The train has stopped.
And if I'm still getting ready at home?
You could say I'm running late.
Interesting.
But don't get too obsessed with the difference. Native speakers use both naturally.
That's important.
Sometimes language learners want one perfect rule for every expression.
But real language doesn't always work that way.
Right? You want to understand the general meaning and then hear the expressions in context.
Let's go back to Jack's terrible Monday morning.
Please don't call it my Monday morning.
You woke up late.
You woke up late.
Fine.
You need to message your manager.
All right.
What would you write?
Maybe. Hi Sarah, I'm sorry, I'm going to be late this morning. There's a delay on my train, and I'll probably arrive around 9:15.
That's good.
Would you change anything?
I'd probably say there's been a delay on my train.
Why?
Because you're talking about something that has happened and is affecting you now.
So, there's been a delay on my train.
Yes,
But there's a delay on my train is still understandable.
absolutely.
This is another thing learners need to hear.
What?
Sometimes there are several correct ways to say something,
Yes,
and you don't need to find the most sophisticated version.
communication comes first.
So if I say my train is delayed, that's perfectly natural.
Very natural.
If I say there's a delay on my train, also fine.
Yes,
And if I say there's been a delay on my train, also fine.
exactly.
Then why teach all three?
Because you'll hear all three.
Odd.
When you're learning a language, it's important to separate two things, what you need to say and what you need to understand.
That's a good distinction.
You might only need one or two ways to express something yourself, but you should be able to recognize different versions when other people use them.
So I don't need to memorize every possible sentence.
No,
I just need a reliable sentence that works.
exactly.
All right, let's say I send the message. Hi Sarah, I'm sorry, I'm going to be late this morning. My train is delayed, and I'll probably arrive around 9:15.
Good.
Then my manager replies.
What does she say?
She says, okay, thanks for letting me know.
That's actually another useful phrase.
Thanks for letting me know.
It means, thank you for giving me this information.
You can use it in lots of situations.
Your coworker tells you the meeting has moved.
Thanks for letting me know.
Your friend tells you they're going to be late.
Thanks for letting me know.
Your manager tells you there's a change to your schedule.
Thanks for letting me know.
It's a very natural response.
And it doesn't mean that the other person is happy about the situation.
Right? It simply acknowledges the information.
So if my manager says, okay, thanks for letting me know, I shouldn't immediately think she's not angry.
You don't know.
She could be angry.
She could be completely fine.
Her message is neutral.
Exactly, tone matters.
That's something you can't always learn from a textbook.
No, especially in text messages.
So now I leave home.
Finally,
I'm on my way to the station.
and then,
I get another message.
from your manager.
No, my coworker.
What does it say?
Are you coming to the meeting?
How do you answer?
I'm on my way.
Good.
I'll be there soon.
Also good.
I'm almost there.
That depends.
On what?
If you're actually almost there.
Fair point.
Don't say I'm almost there when you're still 20 minutes away.
That would be misleading.
Exactly.
So I'm on my way is useful even if I'm not close.
Yes, it simply means you've started traveling toward the destination.
That's another phrase learners should know as a whole.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way to work.
I'm on my way to the office.
I'm on my way home.
I'm on my way to the station.
What about I'm coming?
That's also possible, but it can depend on the context.
For example,
If someone is waiting for you and calls, you might say, I'm coming.
but I'm on my way gives more information.
Yes, it clearly communicates that you've already left or started heading there.
All right, I'm on the train.
And then,
The train stops.
of course,
The announcement says there's a signal problem.
this is becoming a very long morning.
I know.
What do you text your manager?
Hi Sarah, just to let you know my train has stopped again. I'm sorry, but I think I'll be there closer to 9:30.
Good.
Would you say closer to 9:30?
Yes, that's useful when you're giving an approximate time.
So I'm not saying exactly 9:30.
Right? You're saying approximately 9:30, perhaps a little before or after.
Other options.
I'll probably be there around 9:30.
I'll probably arrive around 9:30.
Or it looks like I'll be there around 9:30.
That one sounds interesting.
It's useful when you're not completely certain.
So if the train is still delayed, I shouldn't say, I'll be there at 9:30.
Not unless you're sure.
Because I'll be there at 9:30 sounds quite definite.
Exactly.
And I'll probably be there around 9:30 is more realistic if I don't know.
Right.
This is another important communication habit.
What?
Don't give people false certainty.
Especially at work.
If you're not sure when you'll arrive, don't pretend that you are.
Give your best estimate.
And update them if the situation changes.
That's much more useful than disappearing for an hour and suddenly showing up.
I have a feeling we're not only talking about English anymore.
We're not.
That's what I like about this topic.
The language is connected to the behavior.
You can't separate communication from the situation completely.
Exactly.
Let's talk about another phrase.
Which one?
Something came up.
Very useful.
And slightly dangerous.
Why dangerous?
Because people sometimes use it when nothing actually came up.
That's true.
Something came up means an unexpected situation or problem happened.
Right.
For example, sorry I can't make it tonight, something came up.
Maybe your child needs you.
Maybe there's a family problem.
Maybe you have an urgent work issue.
But if I simply didn't feel like going to dinner,
Then something came up would be a bit dishonest.
so it's a useful phrase, but don't use it as a magic excuse.
Exactly.
What about works?
You could say, something came up this morning, so I'm going to be a little late.
That sounds natural.
But if you know the actual reason and it's appropriate to share it, being specific can be better.
For example, my car wouldn't start.
Good.
I missed my train.
Good.
My child wasn't feeling well.
If you're comfortable sharing that, yes.
I had a problem with my alarm.
Also possible.
I overslept.
Honest.
Painful.
Sometimes honesty is painful.
Let's talk about I overslept.
Okay.
What exactly does it mean?
It means you slept longer than you intended and woke up later than you planned.
So if I wanted to wake up at 6:30 but woke up at 8,
You overslept.
can I say I slept too much?
People will understand you, but I overslept is the natural expression.
That's a good example of why learning individual words isn't enough.
Right.
You might know sleep too much and late,
But you still need the expression oversleep.
and then there's I slept in.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Sleep in usually means to sleep later than usual, often because you don't have to get up early.
So on Saturday morning, I might say,
I slept in until 10.
but if I had an important meeting at 8 and woke up at 9,
You'd probably say I overslept.
so one can be planned or at least harmless, while the other usually suggests you woke up later than you should have.
Exactly.
That's a useful distinction.
And notice that we're not just learning vocabulary.
We're learning when to use it.
That's the important part.
Now I'm finally approaching the office.
What time is it?
9:28.
The meeting started at 8:30.
I know.
How are you feeling?
A little embarrassed.
That's understandable.
I walk into the office and see my coworker.
Let's continue the story.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
No problem, we were just getting started.
Really?
Yeah, Sarah asked everyone to go ahead without you.
Okay, thanks.
You look exhausted.
It was a terrible morning.
What happened?
I overslept and then my train was delayed.
That's rough.
Yeah,
Did you tell Sarah?
yeah, I messaged her.
Good.
She hasn't said anything about it yet.
She probably doesn't need to.
What do you mean?
You already told her you were going to be late. You gave her an estimated arrival time. Now you're here.
So I shouldn't keep apologizing.
Not necessarily.
But shouldn't I apologize again?
You can say, sorry I'm late when you arrive.
And then move on.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Sometimes people over-explain because they're nervous.
You mean they keep talking?
Yes.
Like, I'm really sorry I'm late. I know I'm late. I didn't mean to be late. I usually get here on time. I don't know what happened. My alarm didn't.
Stop.
Right.
You don't need to give a 5-minute speech.
So what would you say?
Sorry I'm late. I had a difficult morning.
And then get to work.
Exactly.
That's a really useful lesson.
An apology is more effective when it's clear and proportional.
What does proportional mean here?
It means the amount of explanation should match the situation.
So if I'm 5 minutes late,
You probably don't need a detailed story.
if I'm an hour late and I missed an important meeting,
You may need to explain more.
especially if other people were affected.
Right.
So English isn't only about finding the right words.
It's also about understanding what the situation requires.
That's something I wish language courses talked about more.
Me too.
Let's look at I'm sorry I'm late and I apologize for being late.
Both are correct.
But they feel different.
They do.
I'm sorry I'm late sounds natural and conversational.
Yes.
I apologize for being late sounds more formal.
It might be appropriate in a formal email or a serious professional situation.
But if I walk into a meeting 5 minutes late and say, I apologize for being late, it could sound a little stiff.
Depending on the workplace, yes.
So again, it's not about one being right and one being wrong.
It's about register.
Register meaning the level of formality.
Exactly.
Let's imagine 3 situations.
Okay.
I'm late meeting my friend.
Sorry I'm late.
I'm late to a casual team meeting.
Sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible.
I'm writing a formal email after missing an important appointment.
I apologize for missing the appointment.
That makes sense.
And there's another expression, I apologize for the delay.
Very useful.
Especially in customer service or professional communication.
Sorry for the delay.
I apologize for the delay.
Both work.
The second one is more formal.
Now let's talk about because.
Okay.
If I say I'm sorry I'm late because I overslept, is that okay?
Yes.
But sometimes learners feel they have to give a reason every time they apologize.
You don't.
So sorry I'm late can be enough.
Absolutely.
And if someone asks what happened,
Then you can explain.
that feels more natural.
It also avoids sounding like you're trying to defend yourself before anyone has accused you of anything.
That's a good point.
There's a difference between explaining and defending.
Explain that.
If I say, "I'm sorry I'm late, my train was delayed," I'm giving useful information.
But if I say, I'm sorry I'm late, but it wasn't my fault because the train was delayed, and then the traffic was terrible and
That can start sounding defensive.
even if all of it is true,
Yes,
because you're trying too hard to prove you're not responsible.
exactly.
So a simple explanation can be stronger than a long one.
Often,
That's a lesson for work and for life.
it is.
Now let's imagine that my manager actually is annoyed.
All right,
She calls me into her office.
let's hear it.
Jack, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure.
I wanted to talk about this morning.
Okay.
You were supposed to be here at 8:30.
I know, I'm sorry.
Is everything okay?
Yes, I overslept and then my train was delayed.
Okay, I understand that things happen, but this is the second time you've been late this month.
You're right.
I need you to make sure you're here on time.
I understand.
Good, I just wanted to make sure we're clear.
We are.
That's a difficult conversation.
But notice what Emma didn't do.
She didn't argue.
She didn't say, "But the train."
She didn't blame someone else.
She acknowledged the problem.
You're right.
That's a very useful phrase.
You're right.
If someone points out something that's true, you can say, "You're right."
Even if you don't like hearing it.
Especially then.
What about I understand?
Also useful.
It doesn't necessarily mean I agree with everything you're saying.
Correct.
It can simply mean I understand what you're telling me.
Right.
So if my manager says, I need you to be here on time, I can say,
I understand.
and that doesn't mean I'm admitting that every detail of the conversation is fair.
Exactly.
That's subtle.
And useful.
Now, what if the reason for being late wasn't my fault?
Let's say the train company had a major problem.
The whole network stopped.
Then it's reasonable to explain that.
But should I still apologize?
You can.
Even if it wasn't my fault.
Yes, because you're apologizing for the impact of your lateness, not necessarily admitting that you caused the delay.
That's interesting.
You can say, "I'm sorry I was late. The train network had a major problem."
So I'm acknowledging the inconvenience without saying, this was completely my fault.
Exactly.
That's an important distinction.
It is.
Let's talk about another phrase, I got stuck in traffic.
Very common.
What does got stuck mean here?
You were caught in a situation where you couldn't move forward easily.
So, I got stuck in traffic.
You were caught in heavy traffic.
I got stuck at the airport.
Maybe your flight was delayed.
I got stuck in a meeting.
That's slightly different but very common.
Meaning I couldn't leave the meeting.
Right.
I got stuck on the train.
The train stopped or you couldn't get off.
So get stuck is useful beyond traffic.
Very useful.
What about I was stuck in traffic?
Also completely natural.
Difference.
Again, don't overcomplicate it. I got stuck in traffic emphasizes the situation you encountered. I was stuck in traffic describes the state you were in.
So both are useful.
Yes,
Let's build a few sentences. I'm running late because I got stuck in traffic.
good,
I'm going to be late. I was stuck in traffic.
good,
Sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible.
very natural.
I think I'm going to be late because my bus is delayed.
Good,
I'm running late. I'll be there in about 15 minutes.
good,
I missed my train, so I'll be a little late.
very useful.
I overslept, so I'm going to be late.
Honest,
Painful again.
still useful.
Now let's look at a little late.
That's a very useful softening expression.
What does softening mean?
It makes the statement sound less strong.
So I'm late is direct.
Yes,
I'm a little late.
sounds softer.
But if I'm an hour late,
Don't say a little late,
why?
because then you're minimizing the situation.
So again, context.
Always,
What about I'm going to be a little late?
very common.
I'm going to be a little late this morning.
I'll be a little late, I'm stuck in traffic.
That sounds natural.
But if you know you're going to be 4 to 5 minutes late, you should probably give people the real estimate.
I'll be about 4 to 5 minutes late.
Exactly.
This brings us to something important.
What?
When you're late, people usually want to know 3 things.
Which are?
Where are you?
Okay.
Why are you late?
Sometimes.
And when will you arrive?
Yes.
So a useful message could contain all 3. I'm running late, I'm stuck in traffic, and I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
That's excellent.
Or, I'm going to be late, my train is delayed, and I'll probably arrive around 9:20.
Exactly.
That's much better than just saying, I'm late.
Yes, because I'm late gives them almost no useful information.
Although sometimes that's all you have time to type.
True.
Especially when you're running.
Then you can send the short message first and update them later.
Like, running late, train delayed, will update you soon.
That's perfectly fine for a quick text.
Then later. I'll probably be there around 9:20.
Good.
Let's talk about another common phrase, I'll keep you posted.
Very useful.
What does it mean?
It means you'll continue giving someone updates as the situation develops.
So, I'm not sure when I'll arrive, but I'll keep you posted.
Exactly.
Or, I'll keep you posted if anything changes.
That's very natural in professional communication.
And it sounds more useful than saying, I'll tell you later.
Yes, I'll keep you posted suggests an ongoing situation.
That's a phrase I would definitely teach.
Me too.
Now imagine my manager replies. Okay, keep me posted.
Meaning,
Let me know if the situation changes.
right,
So I could reply, will do.
another useful expression.
Will do means I will do that.
Exactly.
Manager, keep me posted.
You will do.
Short and natural.
You wouldn't normally write, yes, I will keep you posted.
You could, but will do is more conversational.
Right.
And this is where learning natural responses becomes important.
Because conversations aren't just questions and long answers.
Sometimes they're tiny pieces.
Got it.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Will do.
No problem.
Thanks for letting me know.
These short responses help conversations move naturally.
And they're often more difficult for learners than long sentences.
Because textbooks focus on complete sentences.
But real conversations are full of fragments.
Exactly.
Now let's imagine the worst possible version of this morning.
I'm scared.
I arrive late, miss the meeting, and my manager asks why I didn't contact anyone.
Okay.
What would you say?
I'd say, I'm sorry, I should have let you know earlier.
That's a very important sentence.
Yes.
Why?
Because sometimes the biggest problem isn't that you're late, it's that you didn't communicate.
So I should have let you know earlier means.
I realize now that informing you earlier would have been the better thing to do.
And it takes responsibility.
Exactly.
That's stronger than saying, I couldn't message you because my phone was in my bag.
Even if that's true.
Because I'm focusing on the excuse.
Right.
Whereas, I should have let you know earlier.
Shows that you've recognized the problem.
That's a powerful expression.
And it's useful far beyond being late.
I should have called you earlier.
I should have checked the schedule.
I should have told you.
I should have asked.
This is a great pattern to learn.
Definitely.
And now we're getting into something deeper.
Responsibility.
Yes.
Because being able to speak English isn't only about describing what happened.
It's also about managing relationships.
At work, people need to know whether they can rely on you.
And communication is part of that.
You might still be late because of something outside your control.
But if you communicate clearly, people can plan.
Exactly.
If you disappear, they have no idea what to expect.
And that's usually more frustrating.
So sometimes the most useful English isn't the complicated English.
It's the simple sentence you send at the right time.
I'm running late.
My train is delayed.
I'll be there around 9.
I'll keep you posted.
Sorry about the delay.
I should have let you know earlier.
That's enough to handle a lot of situations.
Let's take a short break from the story and imagine you're listening from your own life.
Think about a time you were late.
Maybe you were late for work.
Maybe you missed a train.
Maybe you were late meeting a friend.
How would you explain it in English?
Don't translate a long explanation.
Start with one simple sentence.
I'm running late.
Then add the reason.
I'm stuck in traffic.
I'm running late because my train is delayed.
Then give an estimate.
I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
And if necessary, apologize.
Sorry about the delay.
Put those pieces together.
I'm running late because my train is delayed. I'll be there in about 20 minutes. Sorry about the delay.
That's a complete message.
And it's not complicated.
That's the point.
Let's do another one.
You're late because you overslept.
I'm going to be late this morning. I overslept, and I'll probably be there around 9.
Good.
Another one.
You're stuck in traffic.
I'm running late. I got stuck in traffic. I'll be there in about 15 minutes.
Good.
You missed the bus.
I missed my bus, so I'm going to be a little late. I'll keep you posted.
Good.
You don't know exactly when you'll arrive.
I'm not sure when I'll be there yet. I'll keep you posted.
Very good.
And that's an important phrase.
What?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Some learners are afraid to say they don't know.
But I'm not sure is a very normal phrase.
I'm not sure when I'll arrive.
I'm not sure how long it'll take.
I'm not sure what time I'll be there.
I'm not sure what's happening.
It doesn't make you sound weak.
It makes your information accurate.
That's an important difference.
Absolutely.
Let's return to the office.
Finally.
I've finished the meeting I missed.
How did it go?
Actually, pretty well.
Good.
My manager asked me to send a summary to everyone.
And
I said, sure, I'll send it this afternoon.
Z.
What?
The morning was bad, but the rest of the day doesn't have to be.
That's true.
Sometimes when people make a mistake early in the day, they spend the rest of the day thinking about it.
Feeling guilty.
Exactly.
And then they become less productive.
So once you've apologized, explained the situation, and fixed what you can fix, move forward.
That's good advice.
And it connects to language learning too.
How?
Learners make mistakes all the time.
Grammar mistakes.
Pronunciation mistakes.
Wrong words.
Awkward sentences.
And sometimes you realize halfway through a sentence that you've said something completely wrong.
So what do?
Stop talking forever.
No.
Pretend it didn't happen.
No.
Correct yourself.
Exactly.
Sorry, I mean.
Or
What I meant was.
simply repeat the sentence correctly.
So being comfortable with mistakes is part of communication.
Yes.
Just like being late.
You deal with the situation and move on.
I like that connection.
Me too.
Let's look at one more phrase. I didn't mean to.
Very useful.
For example, I'm sorry I'm late. I didn't mean to be late.
That's natural.
What does I didn't mean to communicate?
It tells the other person that the result wasn't intentional.
So, I didn't mean to upset you.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
I didn't mean to miss the meeting.
I didn't mean to be late.
But again, should I use it to avoid responsibility?
No.
Because I didn't mean to doesn't automatically solve the problem.
Right.
If I say I didn't mean to be late, but I regularly arrive late,
People may not care about your intention.
they care about the pattern.
Exactly.
That's another deeper point.
Your intentions matter, but your behavior matters too.
And communication helps connect the two.
Yes,
This is turning into a life lesson.
maybe today's topic deserved one,
Being late has a lot to teach us.
including the importance of leaving the house on time.
I knew you'd say that.
You were asking for it.
All right, let's move into our final challenge.
This time I'm going to give you situations, and you create the response in your head.
Don't worry about making it perfect.
Try to say something natural and useful.
Situation 1. You're on your way to work, but your train is delayed. Your meeting starts in 20 minutes, and you're probably going to miss the beginning.
What would you text your manager?
You could say, I'm running late, my train is delayed, and I'll probably arrive around 9:15. Sorry about the delay.
Good.
Situation 2. You overslept.
You could say, I'm going to be late this morning. I overslept. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Good.
Situation 3.
You're not sure when you'll arrive. I'm not sure when I'll be there yet. I'll keep you posted.
Good.
Situation 4. You arrive at the office and your manager is unhappy.
You could say, I'm sorry I'm late. I understand, and I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Good.
Situation 5.
You forgot to tell your coworker you were going to be late.
You could say, I'm sorry, I should have let you know earlier.
Excellent.
And now let's make it a little more conversational.
You're meeting a friend for coffee, but you're running 10 minutes late.
What would you text?
Running a little late, sorry, I'll be there in about 10 minutes.
Very natural.
And if you're already on the way,
I'm on my way, sorry, I'll be there soon.
good.
Notice how different the language is depending on the relationship.
A message to your manager may be, Hi Sarah, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be late this morning. My train is delayed, and I'll probably arrive around 9:15.
A message to a close friend might simply be, running late, be there soon.
Same situation.
Different relationship.
Different language.
That's one of the most important things to understand about real English.
You don't speak exactly the same way to everyone.
You change your language depending on who you're talking to, what happened, and what you need.
And that's why memorizing one perfect sentence isn't enough.
You need flexibility.
Let's review the most useful expressions from today's episode.
I'm running late.
I'm going to be late.
I'm on my way.
I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
I'll probably arrive around 9.
I'm not sure when I'll be there yet.
I'll keep you posted.
My train is delayed.
I got stuck in traffic.
I missed my train.
I overslept.
Something came up.
Sorry I'm late.
Sorry about the delay.
I apologize for being late.
I should have let you know earlier.
You're right.
I understand.
Will do.
And one more.
Which one?
Don't panic.
That's not an English expression.
It should be.
Maybe we'll teach it next week.
Fair enough.
But seriously, if you're learning English and you find yourself in a situation like this, remember that you don't need complicated English.
You need useful English.
You need to be able to explain what's happening.
You need to give people useful information.
You need to ask for clarification when you don't understand.
And sometimes you simply need to say, I'm sorry.
Then move forward.
And maybe set 2 alarms next time.
That's probably the most useful advice in the entire episode.
I'm going to ignore that part.
I knew you would.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope today's conversation gave you some expressions you can actually use.
And don't just listen once.
Listen again.
Pause the episode.
Repeat the sentences.
And most importantly, imagine yourself in the situation.
What would you say if you were late for work tomorrow?
What would you text your manager?
What would you tell your coworker?
What if your train was delayed?
What if you overslept?
The more you practice these situations before they happen, the easier it becomes to speak when they actually do.
And remember, learning English isn't about never making mistakes.
It's about learning how to keep communicating when mistakes happen.
That's all for today's episode.
See you next time.
Bye everyone.